Saw is one of the most popular horror franchises ever. It spawned 8 movies, 1 movie coming out, made by Chris Rock of all people, 2 video games, a ride in Thorpe Park, this weird short film.
So I acquired this sweet little camera, and I'm making my own documentary about this sick Scott Tibbs style, baby!
And so many parodies. And like everything, or at least most things, with this large of a scope in terms of franchise potential, there is a Reddit page. I decided to do a bit of an experiment involving this Reddit page. I went to Reddit with a post on Google Forms that includes a link to a poll about a bunch of Saw opinions, basically for them to give me their Saw opinions. I wanted to know what the most popular Saw opinions were, and today we look at the results of that. And also, if you're one of the people watching this because I posted the results on Reddit via this video, let's play a game.
Do you want to play a game?
Alright, let's go over the poll. 48 responses. Wow, that's probably the most amount for a poll I sent. What's your favorite Saw film? Mine is Saw 2. It's done okay. It's the second most popular, but it seems the original has triumphed because we get to know more about Jigsaw, the game is more interesting, and the twist. Saw 3, which is in third place, which, yeah, I can see that. Saw 3 is more flawed than the previous 2, but it is still quite enjoyable. And then Saw 4 and 6 are tied, which I guess I can understand. I do like Saw 4 a little more than Saw 3, but most people seem to not like it as much. And Saw 6 is another popular one. I can see why. Then we have Saw 5, which, yeah, I can see why it's so low. I don't know anybody who, like, viscerally hates this, but I could understand why it's so low. And then the bottom 2, Saw 7, and Jigsaw, which, yeah, I can understand. There's a lot of hate for Jigsaw, though this does not necessarily indicate hate, just the lack of love, though it's probably hate. And speaking of lack of love, it's time to look at the more interesting one, least favorite, as expected. Yeah, Saw 7 has a lot of hate, though again, it could just be lack of love, like me. I don't hate any of these films, but it's probably hate. And then next followed by Jigsaw, which is also hated highly, so that's neat. And followed by Saw 5, which, yeah, that seems fitting. Then Saw 4, Saw 3, and Saw 6, and then Saw 2 as the least hated one. Well, actually, the least hated one is the first one, because nobody seems to hate that one, so that's quite interesting. Now let's say if they were given the option, which films do they hate, but they didn't have to say, this is the one that I hate the most. Yeah, so more people hate Saw 7, and Jigsaw seems to have one more person who doesn't like it, which seems fitting. So yeah, there's Saw 7, which is in first place, and then in third place we have Saw 4, which I guess I understand. Saw 4 seems to get some hate, but not nearly as much as the later films. And the 3 that have 5 votes are Saw 3, Saw 5, that's ironic, None, which is I'm all there for. 5 people don't hate any of them. Actually, more than 5 people do, 6. Yeah, 7 people don't hate any of them. Anyone. Anyone? What do you mean, anyone? These films aren't people. So yeah, 9 people don't hate any of the Saw films, which includes me, so that's interesting. 9 out of 48 people. And then Saw 6 with 2 people hating it, and 1 person hating Saw 2, and no one hating the first one. Yeah, the first one is really triumphing in terms of avoiding hate. Also, if you're wondering how they typed this, considering I didn't put that as an option, I added other in case they wanted to choose, like, the Scott Tibbs documentary or one of the other miscellaneous Saw shorts. So, yeah. Now, what films would you say you love? Of course, the first one gets more love, and here's something that's interesting. Saw 2 just is barely below the first film, 37 to 38. Now, to me, that means, okay, so if they're given the option, what's your favorite, they pick the first one, but which ones do you love? Most people seem to like Saw 2, except 1, so that's interesting. And in third place is Saw 6, which, again, I guess it's more of a case of more people love that than think it's their favorite, which is tied with Saw 3, so that's quite interesting. And then Saw 5, 4, which is in the next place, then Jigsaw, which I could understand, and I don't hate Jigsaw, but it seemed a lot of people do. Don't love Jigsaw. I said don't hate. Don't love Jigsaw. I meant to say. Alright, then Saw 7. Then 6 people love Saw 7. Wow. That's quite interesting. Yeah, so there's not nearly as much hate of Saw films as there are, like, Star Wars movies, I guess. And all of them. You love all of them. That's nice. I can see why. And which Saw video game is better? A lot of people... Okay, for starters, the more popular video game is the first video game, and Saw 2 Flesh and Blood people seem to like. I haven't played any of these games because I'm the person who submitted this response. But I figured, why not? But let's look at the other ones. Never played either. Yeah, quite a few people have played them. Dead by Daylight. Yep, there is Saw Dead by Daylight DLC, if you want to count that. None. They were fun but trash. Fair enough. Both were bad. Oh, they're equal amounts of bad. I don't know. Oh, you need a debate. Okay. Hey, who's your favorite Jigsaw Apprentice? Now, I gave the options of Zepp, Obby, Amanda, Art Blank, Detective Hoffman, Jill Tuck, Dr. Lawrence Gordon, and Logan Nelson. Now, Amanda is the most popular one. That might be because she was the first one who we discovered, and also she has an interesting arc. Yeah, I could see why some people consider it her favorite. But Hoffman is in second place, so that is quite interesting. Hoffman also has a lot of love. And then in third place is Dr. Gordon. Fair enough. Most people don't like the twist that Dr. Gordon is an apprentice, but as a character, he is pretty good. Though what I find funny about the twist is most people watching that movie probably would have forgotten that Dr. Gordon was even in the movie. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. And then Logan Nelson, two people say is his favorite, which is quite interesting. Yeah, Jill Tuck is least popular in terms of them. I'm guessing because she doesn't have much personality. So yeah, Jill Tuck least popular, Amanda Young most popular. Now, your least favorite Jigsaw Apprentice. Now, Logan Nelson is the most hated, apparently. I'm guessing it's because of that thing I said earlier about him retconning a bunch of stuff, so that's quite interesting. And second least popular is Hoffman, which I'm assuming is because he started to just not make the games fair. Like, there was barely a chance anyone could survive, making it not nearly as fun as it was previously. Obby, people like Obby, six people don't like Obby, I meant to say. Fair enough. Jill Tuck, okay, Jill Tuck isn't really hated, but I guess she's not loved either. Jill Tuck is not the Admiral Holdo of this franchise, as it were. And then we have Zepp and Amanda. Not a lot of people hate them. And two people don't like Dr. Gordon as much. And also somebody pointing out, Obby, Zepp, and Art were coerced, not helping Jigsaw, and Lawrence assisted but did not carry the legacy of Jigsaw. So of the three true apprentices, Logan is my least favorite. Alright, so Logan has 21 haters. Okay, so yeah, Logan, a lot of people like Logan. Now here's where things get complicated. I let people choose what their favorite trap was, but because there's so many, it's hard to get a general consensus. So, it results in this! Okay, we'll just go over what is in first place. Reverse Bear Trap, of course, followed closely by the Bathroom Game, which has 1 vote less, yes, and then we have the Water Cube, which Strom was in, which I honestly don't understand. Like, I mean, I don't hate the Water Cube trap, but like, it's not that great. And then the Water Cube's followed by the Shotgun Carousel, which, fair enough, I like that trap as much as everyone else. And also the Pedophile's Bed Trap, which is the one where he has to cut out his eyes or his arms will be pulled apart, kind of like one of those crash test dummy toys. And then we have the arm twisting mechanism, which is the rack. Detective Matthews Game, which is my favorite, hasn't done that well. I'm kind of sad about that. Also, it's technically 3 for the rack because somebody couldn't find the rack, and I called it the arm twisting mechanism without realizing that it actually had a name. Sorry about that, person. And then the people with 1 vote are Quickfire Round, Keys to Avoid Decapitation, Blood Donation via Saw Blade, A Pound of Flesh, Choice if William Lives or Dies, Saw in a Love Triangle, Evan's Game, The Silent Fisherman, Grain Scylla Trap, The Reverse Shotgun Trap, The Venus Fly Trap, The Nerve Gas House, The Needle Pit, and Lynn's Game. Now for the worst trap. I was kind of intrigued because, yes, of course, the top 2 are tied because I'm assuming there's not really a general consensus on this. In fact, let's see if anybody answered other first. Nobody did. Okay, well, let's go over the most popular ones, as it were. Or at least popular, technically. The Laser Trap, which I can understand, which I'm guessing is because it's not a real trap. So that's probably why. And a Saw in a Love Triangle, which I'm guessing is because it was unnecessary. Could have been cut, but hey. The machine gun thing, which, if you don't remember that, it's the thing that fires at, where they're investigating something in Saw 7 and then a machine gun just fires at a bunch of them. The Blender Trap, Flammable Jelly, the Mausoleum, all of those are tied. Right, which I find interesting because I don't really hate Flammable Jelly. Like, what does that get? Alright, least favorite with 2 votes. Zepp's Game, The Angel Wings Trap, The Water Cube, Jill's Dream, Hooks in the Chest, Grain Scylla Trap, and all of those are tied. And now for the ones with 1 vote. Let's go. Tripwire shotgun, which is the one Sing goes over, which I'm assuming is because there's not really much to it. You just go over it and then it shoots you in the head. The safe, which I don't know why. I'm guessing that doesn't count. The arm twisting mechanism, or the rack. Jeff's final test. Riggs game. The crossbow. The electric bathtub. The breathing trap. Hoffman's letter to Amanda. The silent fisherman. Blind hanging. The timed dentist. Reverse bear trap up with Gil Tuck. And the wire leg dismemberment. And the reverse shotgun trap. All of those have 1 vote. So yeah, the top 2 are tied. That's interesting. I'm gonna go over all of them at the end. Now the worst trap/bathroom game. Now this will be annoying to go over, so I'll just go over what won. Jill's Dream is the least popular, which I find interesting, and also somebody answered some of the choices are not traps. Fair enough. Well, I said traps/games though, and your mom. My mom is your favorite trap/game. Okay. Second place is Grain Silo Trap, which I don't know why though. Oh, and nobody hates the bathroom game. The 3 that don't have anyone hating on them, 4 have no one hating on them. I think it's Williams' game. Are all from the first movie except for that one from Saw 6, so that's quite interesting. So yes, the most hated ones is Jill's Dream. I'm guessing because it was just a dream and all it was just a weird thing on a rail that sliced her in 2. Now, what are the best trap/games? Of course, the reverse bear trap. Oh, that's what no one hates. That's quite interesting. And also 2 people liked the pendulum trap, which wasn't on the list. Oops, sorry about that. Good thing I included other, in case I missed something, or if you want to count like a trap from the video game that wasn't in the movie. So yeah, the reverse bear trap and the bathroom game, which is in 2nd place, and this is in 1st place. So yeah, the reverse bear trap is the most popular one. And the least popular ones are the detonator from Jigsaw, the crossbow, which they just touch and then it just shoots someone in the face. Yeah, I can understand that. I don't even know if that counts as a trap, but I put it there anyway. And that's all of them. You can look at them all right now. I'm going to like link a spreadsheet below because I could be here all day if I try to go over all of these. Now, what's your favorite moment? 4 people answered nothing, fair enough. The ending to Saw 1, 3 people said that. Yeah, I think the ending to Saw 1 is the most popular one because that's the one I see a lot. So that's interesting. Then Amanda throwing off the reverse bear trap in the first Saw after she won her game, of course. The moment when Amanda is telling John to help fix her when the soundtrack plays, of course. Seeing John Kramer in Jigsaw, I was shocked. I thought it was dumb, but you do you. This moment with Hoffman in Saw 6, where he's escaping, the ending of Jigsaw, the 10 pints of sacrifice with the reveal of how everyone could have survived. Really? Okay. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all of these, but here are most of them. I'll read some of the interesting ones. The plot twist of Saw 2, of course. My favorite moment is when Eric and Jigsaw are talking to each other during Eric Matthews' game, because we get to know his backstory. It's more of a mental game than physical one, which there are plenty of mental games in the series. Yeah, so here are all of them. If you'd like to look at them, I'm showing the footage. Just like pause your screen while I'm scrolling. And to the next one. What's your least favorite moment from a Saw film? This could be interesting. All right, mine is Detective Carey's death. I don't know if that's what that one is, but fair enough. Saw 4 ending. Donnie Wahlberg didn't want to star anymore. Hey, when they revealed that he was still dead. Really? Right, when they killed my boy Adam. Yeah, a lot of people are upset about that. Hoffmanator. Yeah, I think he's talking about the scene where Hoffman murders a whole police station. Lasers in Jigsaw. 95% of the film Jigsaw. Wow, that's a little harsh. Logan being revealed as a Jigsaw apprentice since the beginning. Well, to be fair, they do say that he left before the events of Saw, the first film, so it's not nearly as bad as it sounds. The brain surgery in Saw 3? Why, though? Oh, I guess it goes on for too long. The entirety of Jigsaw. Anything to do with... Okay. Fair enough. A lot of... I forgot to put down what's your least favorite and favorite character, but I'm gonna take a guess and say that it might be Jeff. Oh, poor Jeff. Yeah, he, if anybody doesn't know how that works, in Saw 3, whenever Jeff is doing a game, how it goes is that he sees someone, he always goes, "You're responsible for the death of my child," blah, 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 blah. And he only saves one of them, but most of the time, by the time he decides to save them, he's too slow to do it. Like, he takes his time, like, trying to grab the key and stuff. Like, wow. How do you feel about the state of the Saw franchise? How do you feel about the state of the Saw franchise? Because I think that might be an interesting one. 2 people say it's good, hoping Spiral's a soft reboot of sorts because the last 2 films have been awful. Saw 3D was misogynistic. How? Explain this to me. Saw 3D was misogynistic? No, it wasn't. Explain to me how Saw 3D was misogynistic. Whatever. And Jigsaw had nothing that made the first 6 it's worthwhile. Fair enough. Really good. It's become a bit of a one-trick pony, and I worry that even flawless Spiral couldn't change that path. Despite this, a Dream franchise will defy expectations and continue making movies past the assumed Saw 10 finale. You think Saw 10 will be the finale? Alright, why not? It's the greatest franchise of all time. Debatable. Well, what are some interesting ones here? I hope they fix the plot inconveniences after Saw 3. Jigsaw was good, and hopefully I can say the same for Spiral. Yeah, Jigsaw does have some fans. It was amazing, but I prefer the old look and feel. Hopefully Darren LB, which is Darren Lynn Bousman, makes it as it used to be with Spiral. It gets a lot of for being torture porn, but the critics aren't wrong. They aren't really gory. I think that there is some pretty great symbolism in the films. Fair enough. What else do we have here? Is there anything interesting? Yeah, you can look at. I'd read all of them, but there's 48 of them. Like, I'm not doing it. I think it's time to let it die. I don't want Logan to be the new Jigsaw. Cool as he is, his existence doesn't make sense with the timeline of the other movies. I mean, if you think about it, it does. It's messy, but could be saved. Okay, what's other stuff? I truly hated Jigsaw. Most people do. A lot of people hate Jigsaw. Alright, people don't seem to want there to be a Jigsaw 2. Not good unless they come back to the original trilogy. Yet that's an interesting one. Some people, I guess, want them to go the route of Halloween, where they just make a direct sequel to a previous one, ignoring other stuff. And honestly, I don't want that, because I'm fine with them continuing where they left off, because I'm a guy who doesn't like just deleting stuff from the canon, because I prefer everything to be canon. I believe the Scott Tibbs documentary is canon. And that's all the stuff here. And now for the most interesting one. How good do you think Spiral will be? Let's see the general consensus on that. Okay, it appears to be general consensus is most people think it'll be great. And I don't think nobody here says it'll be bad. I find that to be quite interesting. Out of the 48 people that responded, nobody thinks it'll be bad. That's fascinating. 15 people say it'll be great. 13 good, 9 okay, 6 amazing, 4 a masterpiece, and 1 says mediocre. And now should Spiral be the last Saw film? 37 people said no, 3 people said yes, a bunch of people said other. I can't say until I see it. Alright, it depends on how Spiral ends. I'm okay with it ending, but having any more Saw films would be good, since I didn't get to see any of the films when they first came out. I really don't know, yes or no, depends on where the story goes. Yes, if they're trying to make Logan the next Jigsaw, it's just going to be more things about Jigsaw's games than things he's done, then no. They can keep going with those things. Can't say until I see it. If they should make it from the Book of Saw, it implies people inspired by John. If it's bad, then maybe because they seem to be getting worse. But if then, I would love for it to carry on. Unsure, would have to see it to decide. No, but they have to focus on John Kramer, the original trilogy. I don't want another killer. Okay, now the top votes. Saw is the most popular one in terms of people who say it's their favorite. Saw 7 is the most popular one in terms of people who say it's their least favorite. Saw 7 has the most amount of hate. 1 has the most amount of love. The first game has the most amount of love. Amanda Young is the favorite apprentice. Logan Nelson is the least favorite apprentice. The reverse bear trap is the most popular trap. The worst trap is tied between Saw and the Love Triangle and the Laser Trap. Jill's Dream is the most hated trap, and the reverse bear trap is still the most loved trap. People don't want Spiral to be the last Saw film, and most people think it will be great. So yeah, that's the general consensus of these films. Now, this was more of an experimental video. I want to do more stuff like this. I sent out a poll of Back to the Future opinions. There's a link to that below if you'd like to fill it. And also, this will remain open, even though I'm not going to go over it again in a video. But hey, if you want to, you can fill it out yourself. Why not? So yeah, the Saw community is more optimistic than most other communities, which makes sense.